Welcome to Gym Owner Freedom. I am Scott Carpenter, and I am a former broke, struggling, frustrated, and overworked gym owner that felt stuck no matter what I did to try and improve the business. Once I realized that the answer wasn't what I thought it was, just getting more clients, and after really doing the math on acquisition and churn rates, I realized I wasn't even playing a winnable game to begin with. With my current price structure, mathematically, there was no way I could afford to pay my staff so I could scale up and out of the business, that I can have the time, the money, the impact, and the freedom that I always knew I was capable of. Once I learned how to add value by selling transformational programs to people who needed more than just workouts, everything changed in my life. Today, I own 6 gyms that all run without me, and I am free to pursue my passion projects and work just because I love to, not because I have to. And if that's a goal that we mutually share together, then this is the show for you. I'm going to teach you the framework to make way more money with less clients and open up a world of possibilities to you. Subscribe, leave a review, and tune in every week. It'll change your life. I promise you that. RC, what's going on? How you doing, man? Olaf, been a while. How you doing, man? Or Olaf rather. And I've got everybody on mute too, just because like it could get a little nutty, you know how when people come in the room. So you can always type questions in the chat. If you need to unmute yourself, just unmute yourself and mute yourself back because it'll get a little nutty. But yeah, I'll kick it off. It's good to see. Awesome, Gulaf. And then Josh, you're letting people in. So this is the first time we've got this streaming over live on Facebook, but we also did it in a personal Zoom room. And I wanted to start doing that because you guys can come in here and ask your questions in real time. And I get to see your faces. I get to talk to you. You guys have gym-specific questions that I want to answer for you. So this is the first time we're kind of doing that. So if you're watching live on Facebook, you can always join in personally and vice versa. But we'll get right into it. I'll kind of go right into it because this is a really big training. Everybody can see my screen, right? And then, yeah, type anything in the chat box. We'll be able to see it. But we're going to talk about achieving multi-millionaire status as a gym owner. And this is going to be a walkthrough. This isn't going to be a theory thing. This is going to be what I have done going from flat broke, and we're talking negative net worth, to where we're at now. And I know sometimes when we think about multi-millionaire, that seems like really out of touch and unachievable. But I'm here to tell you, it's actually not that hard. It's actually not that hard. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. And we're going to make it very simple. So again, this is not a theory. We're actually going to go over numbers. We're going to look at my investments. We're going to look at what I'm taking the profits of the business and investing in, and what is that order so that you guys can do this too. Anybody see Caddyshack though? I had to throw this in there. Anybody that's like not late 30s and up is probably not going to get this, but Cinderella story, coming out of nowhere. One of my favorite movies. Former greenskeeper, right? Former personal trainer. And now we're on the other side. It took me a long time to learn these skill sets, to learn these strategies. It took me a long time. When I first started out, I was broke for the first like 5 years, getting into my first business, the first gym I bought, which was a failing gym. I've got a bill of sale. That's literally the receipt from my car that I was driving when I had that first studios. I bought it for $2,300. When I married my wife, no money for a wedding. We went and had a wedding, $500. We had the reception at our house. So it was on shoestrings for a very long time when I started the businesses. It was a very rough few years. And I'm sharing this with you because I know a lot of you have been there or are there, and you can really do some amazing things. But once we start achieving some level of success, we get really scared to move to the next level. If you're doing all right in your business, you kind of get those golden handcuffs, and it prevents you from doing the things that you need to do to just build that amazing life that you really thought of when you first started your business. You know, now it's different. So I was able to retire from my gyms in my 30s. You know, we get to travel. We have a vacation home. We do a lot of cool stuff. We have a lot of freedom, not just financially, but also with time. But that was very deliberate. It was very deliberate. And I want to show you exactly how we did that. Now, of course, I work a lot because I choose to, though. It's a lot different when you work because you want to versus you work because you have to. And when you can kind of cross that threshold as you're building these investments and doing these things with your business, it's awesome. It is life-changing. And I'm working more than I have in a long time because I really enjoy it. I love working with you guys. I love working with personal trainers. I love working with gym owners to help them on this route that I've been on. And it was no different when I was a personal trainer. I got into really good shape after college when I was in my corporate career. And it was life-changing for me. The confidence I had, I got to help my younger brother out and saw him gaining confidence. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to quit my shitty corporate job and I'm going to do something I actually like to do because I saw the benefits and I got a lot of value and impact from bringing people through that same journey as I did. And it's no different. When I got into business, I struggled like freaking hell. And then when I got through it, my passion is sharing this stuff. So let's go from, hey, negative net worth. I'm literally talking negative net worth to multi-millionaire net worth. Okay. So I'm going to break this into 3 quick and easy steps. There's a lot of nuance, of course, but let me give you the big picture overview. So number 1, your business needs to make big, sexy profits. Okay profits is okay, but big, sexy profits. And we'll define what that is. And you can do it. You can do it with one location. You don't need to do multiple locations like I did. Okay. You can do it with one location, maybe 2, or bolting on an online coaching opportunity, whichever way you want to do it. Okay. Big, sexy profits. So I want to see you making 200,000 a year plus. Okay. Is really the level that I want to get you to. Now, second step, shield your money. You need to protect your money from the IRS. You need to protect your money from any kind of litigation or any business things that you do. You need to shield that. And there's a way that you can earn a return and shield it too. We're going to get into that. And number 3 is invest in assets. Invest in assets that will make you more money. Your money should make you babies at this point. Okay. And I'm going to break down how simple this can be because there's so many ways you can do this, but it's really simple to invest in things that will make you money. And I'm going to share the exact ones that I did. So first, step 1, big, sexy profits. Now, all of you have a little bit different business models. Some of you are PT, some of you are semi, some of you are doing overlapping personal training like mine, the one that we developed. Some are doing large group. Some are doing a mixture of all these different ones. Okay. You can do well with all those. In general, right now, the easier gyms to run are your semi-private, your overlapping PT right now, but you can still do well with large group. And many of the large group ones are actually adding on semi-private or overlapping PT. Why? Because shit has changed since the pandemic. The large group is getting tougher. Okay. Fit body boot camps. They're moving boot camp, large group. That's their whole big thing. Classes of 30, right? Well, they're actually moving into semi-private, into overlapping PT. We've worked with a couple, corporate's been in contact, like they've got to shift and pivot a little bit. So it doesn't matter necessarily the exact model you run. The common thing that you have to do is you have to win with price. Higher ticket offers, higher ticket, higher priced offers will make everything else in your business easier or unnecessary. There is one exception to this. The one exception is the $99 and under stuff, which not many people do anymore. You can make that because that's kind of like the Planet Fitness of boutique gyms. That can work. For the other ones, you want to lead with price. A lot of times we're just too commoditized to make any money, and the volume that's required to make that work is tough. So even if you're large group only, don't worry. You can add on a high ticket offer for the people who want that high ticket offer. The majority might not. Okay. But if you sell a high ticket offer, 2 or 3K, that's like an 8-9 week program, and you sell just a couple of those every month, holy cow, it changes the game. You can add another $100,000 onto what is your group only. Nutrition. We teach you how to do nutrition and charge really high value or high price at it. It's another way you can bolt on and with high ticket offers. But the big thing is like, we're just on this hamster wheel. And once I get to X amount of members, I'll be good. Once I get to X amount of members, I'll be good. And we get there, maybe you can't get there. Maybe you're at equilibrium where churn is canceling out acquisition. And if so, that's what your market sustains. Sure, you can probably do things to get better, but your market is going to have a cap on it. And if you're not able to make $150,000, $200,000, $250,000 profit, some changes need to be made big time, or else you're just never going to get there. Okay. Big things that we do: organic acquisition. A lot of people do paid. Paid is great. Sometimes paid sucks. Organic acquisition, nobody's doing. Nobody knows how to do it. They're not doing it. That's a big thing that we do. Paid is a bit of a beast. We were having success with it for a while, up until a few months ago. So we're shifting. We're spending a boatload. I'm actually meeting a genius in Cabo in 2 or 3 weeks. And we're going to spend 2.5 days going over every single thing, not just the ad, the creative and all that, but all the automations, video plays. We're just throwing offers out to people who don't want them on Facebook, right? They'll make appointments and you get 70, 80% no-shows. It's horrible, no matter what you do. So we're doing different things. You know, we're going to get video views out there for 3 cents a pop. And the people that watch 10 or 15 seconds, we're going to retarget them with a testimonial ad. Then we're going to hit them with direct call to action. So it's just that the paid side changes all the time. And the minute Zuckerberg does an algorithm shift, you can't be dead in the water. So organic acquisition has to be there. And this is where high ticket people that are going to pay you 3, 4, 5 grand coming in, this is where they're all coming from. This has been a cornerstone of what we do. So you need dual lead flow, okay? You need dual lead flow. So win with price, have higher ticket offers. It makes the game so much more winnable. Dual lead flow is huge, paid and organic, okay? And again, unfortunately, paid gets outdated very early. You have to continue to move, and that's hard. It costs money to do it. The good thing is we get to pool that and move faster on it to keep up with what's working, what's not working. Some of you guys in your markets, it's easy. Great, no problems. Some of you, it's really challenging. It's what it is in our market. Phoenix, shit, it's not fun. Okay, but dual lead flow, building your team, okay? Building your team is how you're going to grow and scale and move up as a person and become the leader that you need to be. It's really big to build your team. This is where a lot of us get trapped. Some of us are on the floor training still. Some of us are doing sales, whatever it is, but you need to build your team because you by yourself can only do so much. And what you need, the only way you're going to build a team and get them to stay is if you have a high profit margin. 30 to 50% net profit margins where I want you to be, okay? So what does that look like? Looks like one of these 2 locations, okay? These are a couple of my different ones. One is averaging a little over 40 grand a month only, okay? Good, but not crazy. But the profit is almost $250,000, right? Because the way we run this thing and the price points and how it's arranged, we have high profit margins. If you can't get 30 to 50%, some changes need to be made, okay? This one's doing just under 50K a month, but the profit is over 300 grand. 317,000. This was 2022. I just looked this one up and showed it on last week's training, and it was about the same, right around 300 grand. So we're very consistent with it. It's a little bit less because I have a partner there that's handing off more and more of the training and getting out and scaling up. So that's why there's a range. If you are really heavily involved in the business, still working full time, you can get 50% net profit or a little above, believe it or not. Now, if you're starting to get out of there, maybe you're only working 5, 10, 15 hours or less in that gym. Yeah, you're going to have to pay to replace yourself. So you might be more around the 30% net profit. But a lot of places will target like the ideal being 20%. I don't buy that shit. That's a lot of work and not a lot of pay. You need bigger net profit, because if you want to scale and do an online business to make another 100, 6 figures and up, if you want to scale and do a second location or a third location or a fourth location or a fifth location, you're going to need to have the ability to get out of that role and pay somebody else to do it. Okay. If you're a solopreneur, you don't have to worry about this as much right now. That's okay. You're not there yet. That's a little bit later. But when you have a team, it makes it a lot easier to scale your profits because you don't have to do everything and you can focus on working on the business, not in the business. Dave, fact, the PT legends who grow the fastest have a good team behind them, don't they?
Every single one, like without exception.
Yeah, except for the solo trainers that we work with, right? Now they're driven though. Holy shit. Like what they do is incredible. And now they're all getting their own studios and they have teams, which is fantastic. So don't worry if you don't have a team yet or a good team. That can be built later. We got to we got to supersize your profits. Then we can afford to get you out of the lower value roles that are holding you back. Okay. For most of you, it's being on the fitness floor is the first thing to go. Okay, the last thing when we talk about creating big, sexy profits in your gyms is the community. The people you spend time with should be doing big things. Okay. I was just talking to somebody else in the industry a couple weeks ago, and they kind of like gave this great analogy. It's like most of us have kids, not all of us, but most of us have kids. Okay. Maybe they're in grade school, maybe they're in high school. Who do you want them hanging around? Do you want them hanging around people who, you know, are getting C's and D's, maybe showing up, skipping class, doing all this other stuff? No, you want them around the people who are good influences. What about when they're out of college? You want the ones who are still partying 3 or 4 days a week? Or do you want the ones who are focused on building their careers or whatever it is they're moving on to? Same thing. What about when they're 40? I'm 41. You know, who do I spend my time hanging out with? It's not the people still doing bars 3 to 4 times a week, going nowhere, complaining about everything on social media. That's not who I spend my time with. Spend your time with people doing big things. I think people really undervalue the value of a community and people that you can call up and ask them how they're doing and troubleshoot a solution. And it's huge. In order to, before this happened in my gyms, where I can make $200,000, $300,000 plus profit in a location, I had to hang around with those people. And Samantha, you're on here. I can see you're on a call too, so don't answer. But she was out here. We recently had everybody in Scottsdale, Arizona for 2.5 days and hired a private chef. And we had cornhole tournaments. We did a mini golf tournament in this big, we rented a big mansion. It was a freaking blast. But I can't tell you the value of being around people doing really big things. It's truly incredible. And so you have to look at who are you hanging out with? Who are you spending your time with? Okay. It should be other entrepreneurs. It should be other gym owners. It should be people doing big things because you will rise just by being around them. I can promise you that. This didn't, like I said, my first 5 years in business, 6 sucked. You know what it was? It was me on my island by myself. I didn't learn anything. I wasn't inspired. And I was just trying to survive month after month, year after year. Okay. A lot has changed since the pandemic. Okay. A lot has changed. Cost of acquisition is higher. Churn is higher, right? Supply, there's so many gyms. A lot of them are going out of business now, but the supply increase while demand is kind of decreasing a little bit. If you've noticed Ozempic and all those other things. Okay. It's a different market. You've got to continue to be around the people that are evolving. Our marketing, our paid side of it, guys, is evolving like crazy. Why? Because it just stopped working. It stopped sucking. It started sucking. So what we did is cool. We're hopping on. We're spending thousands. I'm flying out. We're solving this thing. We're going to be the tip of the spear when it comes to this. So first step, big, sexy profits. If you don't have these things on the left, if you're not winning with your price, if you don't have dual lead flow, if you have not yet built your team, okay, if you need to scale profits or if you aren't around the right people, we have an amazing program for this. So this isn't a sales pitch at all, okay? But type in the chat legend or in the Facebook, if you're watching on Facebook, type in the comments legend. We'll be happy to spend 15 minutes with you, okay? Tell us where you're at, what you think your bottlenecks are. We'll tell you what we would do in your situation. And if you want to hear about our group of awesome legends, we'll tell you about it, okay? But it's not a sales call. We'd have to book another thing for that anyways. So you're not going to be asked for anything. Okay. But we'll give you our best advice. And if you want to hear about if one of our programs might be a good fit for you, awesome. Awesome. We can talk about that. Okay. So that's step one is big, sexy profits. Why? Because if you don't take your profit seriously, for you to build millions and be secure financially and have financial independence, it's going to take you a very long time. But if you can get to 150 to 200, 250K profit, you can get there really freaking fast. You can get there in like 3 to 5 steps in 3 to 5 years. And I'm not even joking. So second step, you need to shield your money. Okay. First, protect it from yourself. Okay. All the time. And we've had this happen a lot, Dave. We've got somebody, right? We help them bolt on a high ticket offer inside of their gym. They bring in 30 grand within 8 weeks in new business. And then 2 months later, they're in financial trouble. Because what they do, they get this false sense of security. They stop taking action on the things and following through, and they book a 2-week vacation to Italy. Like, it's insane. So what I did, I practiced delayed gratification. I did not upgrade my lifestyle for a while. So I want you to put that aside. I don't want, and I see it all the time. Somebody will go out and buy the $70,000 Bronco right away once their gym starts making money. Don't. And I'm not saying live small. You need to live big. But first, your investments come first. Your lifestyle budget comes second. Okay. And increasing that when you have consistency. I want you to live big. I want you to drive the car you want. I want you to take the vacations you want. I want you to live in the big ass house that you want if you want it. Okay. But that doesn't come first. Hold off on it. What you do instead is sweeping your cash flow. The profit from your business, you put it in a high yield savings account. Okay. High yield, you can set it up online in 15 minutes. Okay. Can I write in here? Yes, I can. So if it's a personal one, First Oak is good for a business bank account. And what we're looking for is a high yield savings, right? You can do American Express has high yield check accounts. If it's a personal account, ally.com is pretty good. There's tons of them out there, but you're looking for something that's like right now, 4.3 to 5% APY, or APR is a little bit less. Okay. So take all your free cash flow. Okay. Because it's not like you're going to buy a house tomorrow or an investment property tomorrow, and sweep it into a high yield account. Eric on a few months ago, started working with him. He had $300,000 sitting in a checking account. Do you know what a checking account like Wells Fargo or Chase pays you? Like 0.1%. It's atrocious. It's robbery. Okay. Instead, put it in a high, he took that, moved it over. His wife sent me a thank you because they were making like 13 grand a year doing nothing because it was just in the wrong account. They switched it over. They're making like 13K a year, not even touching it. Okay. So do that right away. Next big thing, you have to kill your tax bill. Now, Olaf, this is going to be different for you because you're out in Europe. I can't even remember which. I confuse all those. Whatever in the north, I can't remember. There's Norway. Are you in Norway? I can't remember. Sweden, Norway. I get all those confused. But it's going to be a lot different over there. But in the United States, you can take advantage of massive tax deductions. You would be surprised how little I pay because of two things. One, I'm taking the right deductions. I'm handling my taxes the right way and doing an S corp and all those things. And number two, my investments are actually allowing me to write off tons of my free cash flow. So the government is going to take the majority of your wealth unless you do it right. It is your single biggest expense is taxes, actually. And as you make more money, you got to get more advanced with that. So you need to kill that tax bill. This is stuff that I have trainings on as well. The last step, infinite banking. So you might have heard like becoming your own bank or infinite banking concept, all those different things. This is where I take the money from the savings account and then I put it into an infinite banking policy. Now, what is that? You guys have probably heard never buy whole life insurance, invest the difference. Okay. Okay. That's Dave Ramsey advice, right? That's how middle America is being taught, and middle America is losing ground over the past several decades. So what you need to do is you need to start your own bank. You need to do an infinite banking policy. It's a whole life policy, okay, specially designed as an investment vehicle, essentially. Akeem, you just said infinite banking has saved me financially the last 2 months. Yes. Yes. So here's the problem with investments, guys, is what if I need that money? What if I buy this house, this investment property, this real estate, and I need money later? What if I put this in a 401k or a tax retirement account, but I need it now and I'm going to slammed with penalties? Like, what if I put this all in stocks and bonds, but when it was a recession, it goes down 20% and I don't want to sell it. Like, I'm going to have to take a huge loss if I need that money. So the cool thing about this, you throw your money into an infinite banking policy. It's going to earn a solid, let's call it 6% forever. Okay. But you can get access to that money whenever you need it, and you loan it to yourself around 6%. So you can loan the money back to yourself like it never left the account, which is crazy. For entrepreneurs, this is the shit. It is one of the best things you can do. Now, I can't go into a huge training on here. I have a separate one. It gets really involved. And this is aggressive. So I don't anticipate you guys are going to do something like this. And for some of you, this is a later thing. Anyways, not a now thing. But I put in $100,000 a year for 7 years. Okay. And this thing after 7 years is going to make me 60 grand a year. 60 grand a year just from that, call it 6%. And the cash value, so by the time I'm 65, this thing's worth $3.1 million. I can use it all. If I die, my family's taken care of. They're getting almost $6 million. So it provides a death benefit to protect your family. But think of it like a savings account on steroids. It's growing tax-free. I don't pay tax on that. And I can get it whenever I want to. If I want to start up another location, boom. If I want to acquire a company, boom. If I want to buy a house, boom. And I've dipped into this many, 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 many times. So again, that's a topic for another conversation. But I need you guys to tune in to the stuff I'm teaching because that is phenomenal. I can't tell you how amazing that stuff is. If you just need backup saving, I don't want you keeping $100,000 in a savings account. That's ridiculous. Your inflation is just eating your money. If you don't invest, you are falling behind. So yeah, it's an and investment. The problem is, like, if you have all your money in stocks and it dips 20%, well, that's when you want to buy more stocks, right? But you can't. If I have my money in this earning 6%, if there's a recession, I'm like, ooh, goody. Let me go buy stocks, bonds, and real estate at a discount. It just works like that. So it's the and investment. It's kind of like a Roth IRA, which earns money tax-free forever. It gives total protection for you and your family, and it's the best thing you can do as entrepreneurs. Olaf, I don't know if that exists in your country, though. That's the only caveat for you. You can get this in the US, you can get this in Canada. Europe, I don't know. Okay. If you need info on that, just shoot me a message. I can get you plenty of info on that. I've had separate trainings on it as well. Okay. Step 3. So we got step 1, big sexy profits, because that's just going to accelerate everything. Number 2, shield your money, protect that. Okay. Number 3, invest in assets. Okay. What do I mean by assets? I mean, invest in things that will make you money. What I love is real estate. So let me show you how I've guaranteed that I'm going to be a decamillionaire. Okay. By the time I'm 65. Is it cool if I show you that? I'm 41 right now. Okay. So I have a few different things. These at the bottom, you're going to see IBC policy 1 and 2. These are 2 infinite banking policies I have. I believe I've got one more payment doing the $100K a year I'm putting into it. Again, you don't need to do that. You can put in $10,000 a year. So don't let me scare you. Okay, guys. I got a second policy on Dave. So why did I get one on Dave? Well, Dave is my business partner. If he dies, my ability to make income is going to be impacted, right? He co-owns some of the gyms with me. He co-owns PT Legends with me. So I got a policy on him, right? That will protect me as well. That allow me to buy his wife out and get his family and estate taken care of. And it's also going to give me a bunch of extra money too. So it helps on the death side. But again, it's disguised. It's an investment vehicle. I'm putting $25,000 a year into that policy. And I'm not done. But let me show you. I have 2 policies. And then I use those policies to buy all my assets. Okay. So I have my primary home. This is going to cash. I'm going to say I'm going to live in here forever right now. So it's not going to cash flow me anything by the time I'm 65. All the other stuff will be paid off. Some might take a year later, but others are going to finish 3 or 4 years earlier. Okay. But this is not including any of the businesses. This is just the real estate, Okay. I have a house that's a long-term rental. I use my policy to put the down payment on the house I'm in, our dream house, and kept my old one instead of selling it for the down payment. Cool. That means I'm going to make a lot of extra money on it. Let me back up for a second. Let me start here because this will show you a little bit more. So, I've got a house, right? Long-term rental. I rent it out long-term. I've got 2 short-term rentals. One I use as my vacation home, but it also makes me money. I have this on Airbnb and I have property managers for it. I have a commercial building that houses my first location, my first gym. I bought that building. There's the primary home. Okay. And I bought another commercial building because I did a business acquisition last year and we bought a $1.5 million building. So right now I'm putting that as no cash flow either because we're just paying the rent on it. This commercial building, I'm getting cash flow now because we're charging the business more than everything and making cash flow. So I make money in different ways with real estate. I make money from cash flow. After I pay all the bills and the mortgage, I make money every month. I also make money every time I pay down the mortgage. And I calculated all those numbers in here. You can get these on your financial statements. I'm also making money because of appreciation. Now, the last 2-3 years, we've seen appreciation skyrocket. For my figures, I'm just averaging 3% appreciation. That's it. Okay. So this real estate is making me money in 3 different ways. What I'm not including in these figures is the tax deductions I get from this, because that's too complicated. Okay. But I'm making money 3 different ways. So if you look at just the infinite banking policies and the returns I'm getting from that and the real estate, not including any businesses, you can see that my cash flow is around $82,000 a year from this. I'm making an additional $69,000 a year every time I make my mortgage payments. Pretty cool. And the appreciation on the properties, again, it's going to swing, right? It's going to go up and going to go down. But on average, I'm going to make 158 grand a year just by holding these properties. So in total, I'm adding $300,000 to my net worth every single year doing nothing, sitting on my ass. So I'm not including other things. I'm not including the businesses or anything like that. Okay. This is just infinite banking policies in real estate. And again, I'm using the same money to do the infinite banking policies. Then I'm using that money to buy these properties. Boom, boom, boom. So these are lifestyle assets. I use them, right? Outside of my long-term rental, I use my short-term rentals for vacation properties. I use my commercial businesses, buildings for my businesses. I obviously live in my personal home. Okay. So when we talk about investing in assets, first off, always invest in yourself. You are the number one asset. You, your work, your knowledge, invest in yourself first. Invest in your business growth second. Okay. Personal development first, business growth second. The only reason I'm in this position I learned all these things is because I heavily invested in learning these things. I was in the right groups. I read the right books. I took the right courses, and I put things into action. I had the right coaches and mentors. Okay. Invest in yourself, invest in your business, then you buy cash flowing assets. Okay. So here's what I did. And again, you can do stocks and bonds. But so these are the assets that I have. You can see what it's doing now. But, in 25 years, what is this going to do for me? Well, in 25 years, all the mortgages will be gone. So my cash flows will go up. What I did, I calculated future values with inflation. Okay. I anticipated 3% a year. Okay. So, and all the properties will be paid off. My infinite banking policies will be worth a shit ton. Okay. So here's what's coming into me cash flow doing nothing. $6,000 a month because the mortgage is paid off on that. This is considering expenses though, like taxes. I'm still gonna have to pay the government taxes on it, right? I'm still gonna have to pay a property manager if I don't want to mess around with it. Okay. But what would this, so that's all factored in. This is the pure cash flow that's coming to me now. Okay. At the end of the day, that's $62,000 a month. Okay. And this, again, this is the time value of money. So this is what it will be worth in the future at that time using all the calculations. I had a fun time using those calculators. My total yearly passive income will be $750,000. Again, this is just the investment stuff. This is not including the businesses and I'm going to grow this investment stuff too. I'm not done. I'm 41 years old, right? Here's where the equity comes in. All the houses will be paid off. And at 3% appreciation, according to what they are now, here's what they will be worth in 25 years. So that's a total of $15.2 million. I don't have to do a damn thing, guys. All of this stuff is paying me right now. I have guaranteed $250,000 salary by the time I retire and over $50 million in net worth. Does that blow your mind? And that's 5 things really. Like ignore the primary home. Because I'm going to say if I rent it out, obviously that will make me money too. But I put $0. Let's say I'm staying there. Okay. So let's factor that out. That's almost $3 million, $2.8 million. It's going to be worth because like 1.3 and change now. So take that out. I still have $13 million over $13.5 million doing nothing. So basically I made 5 moves, right? There's a long-term rental, 2 short-term, 2 commercial. It's 5. Because the infinite banking policies, I just shielded my money first and I earn a return in 2 places. Instead of just taking the money and buying the real estate, I earn a return in my policy and then I buy the assets. So really it was 5 main investments, 5 houses. That's it. And this is what it looks like. So can you see how it's not that, you don't have to do that much. It's not like you got to make $2 million a year to be financially secure. I have a shocker too. So that's my Cinderella story. Okay. I'm not done yet, but this is what I can bank on. This is what I have now with these investments. Okay. This is not including the businesses. This is what it's going to be in 25 years. So the big shocker, though, the cool thing is that's going to blow your mind. What I've done in that situation, you can actually do yourself if you make $250,000 a year profit. That's all. Now, I know that seems like a lot if you're making 100 or 150, guys, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad. You just got to move. You got to take action. You got to learn this shit and you got to move. It's not that hard. You don't have to clear $500,000 or $750,000 to do that. You've got to watch. It's basically the 3 steps, right? Big, sexy profits. Get to you're doing 150 to 250 to 300 or more. Okay. Shield your money. Don't go out and buy the freaking Land Rover right away. Okay. Put it in infinite banking, then invest it in assets. And I just showed you how I bought 5 cash flowing real estate assets. And that's it. And I've secured this. And because I had these infinite banking policies, if I die in a year before this is all finished, my family's okay. With all my insurance, they're going to get like $5-6 million or something like that. So if I die now, or if I die in 10 years, or if I live to be 115 years old, I'm never going to have to worry about money. My family's never going to have to worry about money. There's a couple nuances in the shield your money. There's trusts that you can do too, where if you die, your kids get the money at before they don't get the money at 18 years old, right? They get millions of dollars. There's different things you want to do in that. I won't go into that here, but big, sexy profits, shield your money, invest in assets. If you don't have that, okay, so if you're not making the big, sexy profits somewhere, or if you need help in the other 2 phases, just put legend in the comments or in the chat. Like, we can hop on. If you're more on the right side of this, we'll probably be talking directly on it too. But it all starts with you taking your business seriously. Like, stop messing around. You're doing okay. Great. You're doing good. But you need to be doing great. And doing great is just as easy as doing good. And it's more fulfilling. I can promise you. I was stuck in the good area for a shit ton of time. And I was just too uncomfortable to ask for help or work with people or spend money on myself or whatever it was. And I stayed in good a long time. Our job is to get you from good to great. And it doesn't even cost a lot of money. Guys, literally, you can get started with us for under $1,000 to start doing all this shit. And do we help out with all of this? Yes. We have amazing things coming in our PT Legends University that's going to be insane. I can't even tell you. But again, just hop on a call with us. Tell us where you're at. We'll either hand you the right resources, or if you want to hear about our program because it might work for you, awesome. We'll set up a time and we'll go over the ins and outs of that and what our community is all about and the things that we do. I think there were some hands up. I saw a couple of hands up. Josh or Dave, did anything pop up?
It was your hand.
Does it really do that? Does it throw an emoji when that happens?
Yeah.
Okay. So, give me some questions. What questions do you guys have? We've got a good, 10, 15 minutes. Samantha, John, Michelle, Brent, Chad, Akeem, what questions do you have on some of this? Because I know this very well, and I just kind of blitzed through it, but I know not all of it might make sense as you're just hearing this for the first time. And you can chat it too. So any questions you have, just fire it off. What step, let me ask this. What step are you guys in? 1, 2, or 3? 1. I'd say a lot. 1. Okay. 1, getting into whole life. Good. 1. Yeah, a lot of us are here. And it seems so overwhelming to start. Good question. So if you're in 1 right now, you can start doing some of 2 and 3. Okay. You can start doing 2 and 3. If you're in 1 right now, the biggest thing you have to do is take number 1 seriously. The biggest. Just freaking go all in. Like, just do it. And yeah, it's tough because the pandemic threw us through a curveball. Shit's different. Acquisition is tougher. No-show rates are high. Paid ads don't work as well. I get it, but we can't just sit and wait for people to come in. So you've got to go all in on that. But if you're in one thing that you can do to shield your money, okay? Michelle, high ticket programs don't work well in Pilates. Yes, you've got to get a little bit more creative there, right? So your focus when it comes to big, sexy products, you can do some things, but we'd have to check to see if any of it would work. You do want to lead with price, even if it's not like high ticket stuff. You're totally right. Acquisition is where you really need to focus on. There's a lot to dial in there on that one because, yeah, you don't have as big a levers to move. That being said, there are some things you can do depending on what your business looks like right now. We'd have to have a little bit more info on that one. But what you can do right now, if you're still working on big, sexy profits, shielding your money, make sure you don't get lifestyle bloat. I don't want lifestyle bloat coming in. I know when you have a good month, it's tempting to do whatever. Keep it low. Get that high yield savings account open. It takes you 15 minutes online. Go to Ally, go to American Express, go to Citibank, get that high yield savings account and take the leftover. Hey, here's my lifestyle budget. That's going to handle my basic needs and some entertainment and gifts for people and all that stuff. And then take at the end of the month, whatever's that leftover, put that in that high yield savings account. Okay. That's what you want to do right away. Now, in a few months, you'll probably want to put that into an infinite banking policy. And I do have a separate training. Just type IBC if you want me to send that over. Actually, I'm going to create a new one that simplifies it. Type IBC in the chat or the comments, and I will get that to you. But then you can open up one of those, okay? And that's all you need to do right now. Because I don't want you investing in other real estate assets if you're not totally secure first, okay? So number 3 might come later for you guys. Accept the fact that you need to invest in yourself and invest in your business. Whatever it takes, and this is a reason why people don't. They make good money. They increase their cost of living. Now, net, they're not making any more money. Now they have no more room to grow and to learn. The only reason I've learned all this stuff is because I've taken and recycled that money and invested it in my education. And then I invested it in assets. And then I invested it in my lifestyle in those orders. So you can do parts of 2 and 3 even if you're still working on 1. 100%. That's exactly where you want to start. RC, if you're solo already doing high ticket renting and doing mobile training, what's the first step? So with you, Evans, sorry, I just talked to Evans. Your last name is Evans. So for you, your big thing is you're kind of still in 1, right? Lead flow is your big thing. So consistency and lead flow is how you build certainty and you can sleep at night and all that kind of stuff. This is the challenging part right now. Okay. But there's a lot of room for you to grow because this is really where you're devoid. So this is where you really need to focus on for you. Then, I mean, you're doing great on your own. Then what we got to figure out is, are we going to take that and just have you go solo? And you can do that. You can do that with the right way. You'd probably have to do overlapping PT for you. Would you do that solo, or is it worth you opening up your own shop to get more leverage where you can have a team and scale? That we don't know just yet, but we'd have to talk about that because there are pros and cons of that. And it's got to fit in with your lifestyle and what you want to do. Is it going to, yeah, or you can also hire because you can have a place where you're renting right now. So you could actually do that outside of your own shop. So there's a few different routes. We just got to fine tune the right way for you. Because you can hire and start scaling without having your own place too, with your unique situation. Not everybody can do that, but some people can. But your big opportunities are right here. And that's going to be big for you. For some of you, like your offers are just too small or your prices need to be raised. I see that often. People doing 120, 150 a month. It's going to be really tough. And I can't tell you, like, high ticket offers work in small towns too. So we've got like Taylor, Dave, like, you know, his goals, he's in a town of like 2,500 people, but he's ripping out like 35 plus K months, 40K months. For a town of 2,500 people in like the middle of nowhere in Michigan in a rural area, it's pretty badass. You know, I don't know if Jeff's on this call either, but he's in a town outside of St. Louis, like 10,000 people. The guy's crushing it. And he's got like a lower ticket. And he's got a higher ticket program, which is pretty awesome too. He's blown up. So it's really cool to see what he's doing. And the cool thing about when you start making big, sexy profits, you can start doing other things. You can do multiple locations, or you can bolt on an online coaching business too, which a lot of people do. It's been a lot of fun helping people do an online coaching business because that could be an extra 50 to 100K. But to do that, you need time. You would need a team, right? To get out of certain roles. So you have the time to do that. And that's the benefit of scaling and having a team is you replace yourself from the lower value roles and you can build businesses, you can do investments, all those different things to expand your ability to earn. But if your margins are too thin, if your prices aren't high enough, it's not realistic. You just can't do it. You're kind of just stuck where you're at and you need to make a change. But all of you have bottlenecks somewhere. We can help you find it. We can help you find it. We can help you solve it. It's pretty easy to just get an idea of somebody's business and like, it's this, that's what needs to be done right now. Then it's probably this and this. But yeah, guys, big, sexy profits, shield your money. That's something that everybody can start doing now. High yield savings account. Don't be stupid with it. And then eventually doing infinite banking policies. And then when you're secure and you have that cash, deploy it and put it into an asset that's going to make you money forever without a lot of time or no time. That's the order of operations. But again, I wanted to show you my stuff because you can see exactly what I've done. It hasn't been rocket science. Like I bought my long-term was my original house. I bought for, I don't know, a little less than 300. Like all these top 3 homes I bought for less than 300,000 or at 300,000. The commercial building, I think I bought for 450 and I had to put 180 into it. I got the SBA 504B loan, which is the best one for that typically. The primary home is where I live. Obviously, I bought that and used my policy for the down payment, kept my original primary home. And then just recently, I had that business acquisition. We got a bigger building. I should say I don't own that one 100% myself. So I forgot to put an asterisk in that one. But I do own my portion of it. So I forgot to put that little exception in there. But 5 moves. Five pieces of real estate. That's what it is. Can you do stocks and bonds and other things? Retirement accounts? Yes. Yes. Is it possible? Yeah. Could you do that? Yes. I would do the infinite banking policy first, though. I do have a little bit in stocks and bonds, just not much, because generally it's easier, but it's not as lucrative. It's not as lucrative, but that is a route, and I'm getting my videos on really exactly what to do in the stock and bond market too. Simple. There's just a few things you need to know, and don't let the wealth advisors rob you blind with their percentages and management fees. Hey, just a quick reminder to everybody, if you are ready to start making an extra $10,000 more this month, every month, by making more money with less clients with transformational programs and create a consistent flow of high quality leads, you can learn more about what it's like to work with me and my team at PT Legends and how ridiculously affordable it is at CoachScottCarpenter.com. It is such a no-brainer that it more than pays for itself when we teach you how to enroll just two case study clients. Really, that's it. So go to CoachScottCarpenter.com and learn more about it. Okay, we'll get another question too. Let's see. What are you looking for in a high-yield savings account outside of APY? Convenience. I want convenience out of it. So I want to be able to transfer it online. Chase is who I use for my normal checking, right? And then I just want to be able to set up online. Business accounts are a pain in the ass and sometimes savings account, but Ally will do personal ones. You can go on there and set up in 15 minutes. First Oak is who I use for business. You can set up in 15 minutes online, connect the accounts, and I can just transfer it. There are no minimums on these new ones too. You know how before, like, oh, you'll get this APR or APY if you have 10 grand sitting there at all times. You don't need to do that anymore. The ones that I gave you, American Express, there's no limit on, like, you don't have to have any amount in there. You don't get fees, nothing like that. You just get that awesome high percentage. That's it. Is getting capital from a line of credit to get the ball rolling faster a good idea? Oh, open up a can of worms here. Yes. So like credit, I was raised by a farmer. It's like, don't get financing on anything and save your money and squirrel it away, put in a 401k. My dad's doing all right in his retirement, but guess what? He's built himself a life of scarcity. He's 80 years old. No shit. I'm sorry. He's not that old. He's 70 something, 74, 3. I don't know. Hopefully my dad doesn't see this. But he can't get himself to spend the money. He can't do it. He's too scared to spend the money in case it runs out. That's the beautiful thing about cash flow. This cash flow is not going to stop. I can spend all my money and I'm still never going to run out. And that's the beautiful thing with these infinite banking policies. They are going to keep making money. When I am 80 years old, this thing is going to make me $376,000 a year just from that. I showed you when I was 65. Okay. When I'm 65 or 66, I can't remember what I did, 193,000, right? When I'm 90, this thing's going to be spitting out $520,000 a year. Pretty awesome. But yeah, the whole point is if you do real estate, if you do other things, if you grow your business, yeah, using line of credit smart is a good way to go. That's how I was able to grow to multiple locations. I got very clever financing. I didn't have cash. I told you, I started with like negative net worth, self-worth too, probably. But yeah, I had to get creative with banks. All debt is not bad debt. That's what allows me to get all these houses. I didn't pay cash for all these things. Hell no. Didn't need to. Don't want to. I would have had like one of these if I had to pay cash, or two of these, back in the day. So you want to use line of credit. You want to use loans the smart way. So business line of credits, that can be tricky. There's crossover with your personal stuff. If you own a home, getting a HELOC is usually better than any business one. For the most part, you're going to have to put a personal guarantee on a business loan anyways. So know that. So HELOCs are some of your best options. God, I could do a whole nother training on the different lines of credits and the way to build your credit history so that you can get more and more and more and more stuff too. A lot of things on that, but really good questions. And guys, this is the stuff that we learn inside of our group. So we've got a year-long mastermind that is just awesome. And you guys, a lot of you guys know we have a high ticket launch program where we teach you really how to do organic acquisition and have a high ticket option and really to really give a huge boost instantly to your business. It's our signature program. It was 12 weeks. But here's the thing. So many people need so much more help on all the different things to create this successful business. And a lot of them wanted to keep working with us afterwards. So we created our whole university. We're still in the process of adding more and more and more. And we just decided we're going to work with you for a year and give you our high ticket launch program for free, which is awesome, and we just literally decided to do that, what, Dave and Josh, a week or two ago? So some of you I'm going to be reaching out to personally because we've known each other for a while, chatted, there's been interest, but maybe high ticket launch wasn't the exact option that you needed. Maybe you needed help in all those different areas of your business: acquisition, paid ads, organic marketing, scaling your team, making adjustments. And so bottom line is we just decided to include our thing free because it's pretty freaking awesome. Like, I can't tell you how amazing it was for my soul to have everybody come in Scottsdale and, or not everybody, but the people coming in person. We rented that mansion and we did 2.5 days together. It was an amazing experience. And we love working with you guys for a long period of time. So we've just decided we're going all in on delivering value across all of this stuff. So all of that, and Samantha, you're in it. You haven't seen it yet. You're going to see it. So there's cool things for you to see, but some of you I'm going to be reaching out to personally, because from now until was the end of April, Dave, now until the end of April, we're going to run a one-time only special on it just to kick it off. So if you're in PT Legends already, don't worry, you're getting it. For those of you who aren't, there's going to be a one-time special, which is going to be pretty badass. So we're going on up an hour right now. So last thing, put it in the chat or the comment legend, or you can just schedule directly. If you go to ptlegends.com/schedule, you can pick something out in your calendar, and just, pick something out, and then we'll hop on for 15 minutes. Tell us where you're at. We'll identify those bottlenecks, what you need to do. If you want to hear about that awesome program I talked about, we'd be happy to, but leave your credit card at home. It's not a sales call. That's all I have, guys. But if you're on this call in my private Zoom room, you can actually stay in there if you have specific questions afterwards. I'm going to stop the recording on the shoot. I got my Zoom bars all over the place. I'm going to stop my recording on Facebook Live if I can. And then if you guys want to stay on and chat with me for the next 20, 30 minutes, I'm game to do it. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you are ready to start making an extra $10,000 a month or more this month by making more money with less clients and create a consistent flow of high quality leads, You can learn about what it's like to work with me and how ridiculously affordable it is at CoachScottCarpenter.com. And if you got any value out of this episode, please pay it forward and leave a review for this show. It helps other gym owners find the answers to the huge problems that we all share. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.